Hi, everyone. The first podcast of Are You Busy? We're so excited. We're going to talk about your cringiest stories that you have. We're your hosts. I'm Maddie.
I'm Brooke.
And we'll just introduce ourselves a little bit. We met in middle school? High school?
High school.
Okay. And we became best friends. Right?
Like that.
Just like that.
It was really sweet. What class were we in? I forget. Were we in like the ceramics?
Yeah. Maybe. We had like a ton of classes together junior year, I think.
Yeah. And then you invited me out to lunch one day, just randomly, and I thought that was so nice, and I was so excited, but wanted to play it cool. And we went to lunch. I think we went to Wendy's.
Wendy's was our go-to. That chicken sandwich. What was it? The crispy chicken. I don't know. It was so good.
Every day.
Every day.
And then from then on, we just were like, lunch?
Yeah. Lunch, right? Skip class.
And yeah, and then are we going back to school or we're not going back to school?
So fast forward, now you're in California. I'm in Texas. We originally were in Utah. So this is just like a fun way for us to catch up and chat and gossip a little bit about all these crazy stories. And we hope you follow.
Second.
Yeah. Our boring life with children to the crazy stories of everyone else.
That'll keep it interesting.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Brooke?
We have some juicy first date stories and a couple things going on along with just when you're first meeting someone and dating. And then we're going to also talk about maybe some holiday things since Christmas is coming up. And I think, Maddie, you have some stories for us there as well.
Some good gift stories, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a story that I have for you.
I have a way bad dating story, too.
Okay, you need to tell that one as well.
Okay. You go.
Okay, so before my husband, I was on Tinder a lot, and that's before like a lot of other dating apps were around. It was kind of just Tinder. Was there any other ones really that time? Like Mutual wasn't out yet. Anyways, so I met this guy who was a doctor, super cute, and I thought I hit the jackpot. He was very cute. And we talked on Tinder for like 2 days, and then he asked me on a date, and he said he had a really good idea. So I was like, wow, great. Look at this guy taking initiative, planning a date. I was like, yes, this is what we like. This is what we like to see. I think I even bragged about it to my brothers. I was like, see, he's taking initiative. Like, get with it, guys. Anyways, and so he's like, meet me at this park. And I kind of like that because it was in the open, park. I feel like pretty safe with that. But it's downtown, so the day comes, and he said he'll be at this park. So I get to this park, and I'm like, okay, like, where are you at? And he said he's in the middle of the field with a book. Oh, a book. Like, okay. As I got closer, I realized he had a book in his hand, but at the same time, Maddie, he was slacklining. Slacklining as he was reading his book. Do you know what slacklining is?
Did you just turn around and walk out?
No, I went over there because I was like, oh, he's a doctor. I guess I'll just, So I go over there. He doesn't get off the slack line. He does kind of move his book for a minute. He goes, oh, hey. I was like, hi, nice to meet you, and he's like, yeah, you too. Anyways, and he keeps like slacklining, and he's like asking me a few questions. But I was just getting the ick. I just was not feeling it, especially as he like literally continued to slackline, and then he'd do like a bounce and get back up like on the slackline.
Trying to like show off, like
I don't know, but it was not working.
Then why am I just doing it now?
Saved it for the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was weird. Horrible. And so I made up a story and had to get out of there. And then I had to walk the 6 minutes long walk back to my car because it was at this really big park. And the whole time I was just, oh.
That is so awkward. You think in his brain, he's like, this will show her. She's going to love this. A guy who can read and slackline at the same time.
and did the bounce like, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh,
Dying.
yeah,
Okay, well,
it
I
was
think
so weird.
yours beats mine. I had a
No, it's gonna be
horrible
worse.
day in high school, but I bet you've heard this story before. So I was asked to go to a dance, right? We had dances in our high school. And so I was pretty pumped. I think it was one of my first. I was definitely a sophomore, maybe freshman. I don't know. But I was so excited. And I was going with a buddy who was a good friend of mine. I think he had a little crush on me. And I got back with that boyfriend that I was on again, off again with forever. So I think he was kind of bummed. I don't know. He picks me up for the date and he's kind of just like, seems a little grumpy, but that's okay. Like, I'm
You
excited.
know
I look
why.
good.
You know why. He was like, this is my chance to swoop in, and here you are. But in your mind, you're like, oh, we're buddies. We're going
Yeah,
to
I'm
dance
like,
together. Have fun.
we're friends. I look good. Let's go out. So we go out to dinner and it was one of those, is it hibachi? How do you say it when they like cook in front of you?
I think that's right.
Yeah, okay. So they're like cooking in front of us, that kind of place. And we're all discussing what we're going to get. I think filet mignon or like chicken, something like that. And he looks at me and he's like, will you order off the kids' menu? And I was like, it says you have to be 12 and under to order off the kids' menu. And I was like, okay. Meanwhile, I had seen his dad hand him a 50 for the date. So I was kind of like, okay, weird, but all right. So
He's like, I'm going to get a steak, and the prices don't add up if you also get steak.
Yeah, he's like, only one of us can get the filet mignon, and it's gonna be me. No. So the waitress comes, and I did. I tried to order off the kids' menu, which now I'd be like, excuse me, like, I'm gonna order what I want. But no, I tried. And it was very clear I was not 12. So they told me I was not allowed to order off the kids' menu.
Oh, and that's embarrassing.
So embarrassing, so awkward. Anyway, so and then I felt bad because I was like, well, geez, you don't want to buy me a meal, but you have to. It gets worse. We get to the dance, and they used to take your picture at the dance, and you could pay for it and buy it, and it'd be with you, with your couple, and then as a group. And he's, no, I'm not paying for that. We're not getting our picture taken. Pieces out, leaves me the whole dance. Which, whatever. I find my girlfriends. I dance the night.
Which, whatever. That is a big deal.
It is a big deal, but I was with the girls, so I was probably with you. Who knows? Anyway, so we danced, and then we had an after activity after the dance, and it was in our mutual neighborhood. We lived pretty close to each other. It was at our buddy's house. So anyway, we went to our friend's house, and it was getting pretty late. I had a curfew, and I was, hey, I've got to go home. Like, do you want to walk me home? And he's like, no, you can walk yourself. So I walked myself home.
Oh, that's sad. That's bad. That's really sad.
That was probably my worst date ever, and I was still buddies with him after. That's shame on me.
The next week he's like, hey, you want to go grab some food? You're like, as long as it's hibachi and you're paying this time and I'm getting steak.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. Anyway, okay.
He was 100% mad that you got back together with your ex, in my opinion.
That's what I think it was, like, looking back, because I do think he had a little crush. Like, I think there was, and maybe I led him on. I don't know. We were just flirty and fun and young and whatever. Anyway, so it's fine. I don't talk to him anymore.
Rude, Maddie.
I'm so rude.
Okay, so I have another one. I don't know
if of yours?
What?
Of yours?
Yeah, another bad date story of mine.
Okay.
So there's another Tinder one, and this guy picked me up, and we were going to go rock climbing. And the first 10 minutes that we're there, I go up, was totally fine, and then he's just a stocky dude. He's got some girth, and he was rock climbing, and I guess he's never rock climbed before. And he fell, and when I'm below belaying, my fingers got caught up in the rope and like destroyed my fingers. And it
Oh.
hurt. And I dropped him. Like, I felt so bad. And he wasn't that high, but high enough where you're, oh, I felt so bad. And then he's like, you know what? This just doesn't seem like something for us. Let's just go do something else. And I was like, okay.
Had he been rock climbing before?
No, we'd never gone rock climbing before.
But is he like a rock climber or no?
No. He just knew that I liked rock climbing, and so he took me, but he's never been.
Okay.
So I think that was
sweet gesture.
Sweet. Yeah, exactly. Trying to be sweet. But just kind of a fail, and I felt bad. Anyways, and so he said, let's do something else. We get into his car and we start driving. In my mind, I'm like, oh, he has a plan. Like he's got a plan. He's gonna go do something else. Maybe he has an idea, and we just keep driving, and all of a sudden we go up the canyon, like over which road is that? The one that goes back behind Park City, by Provo, back behind Provo area, okay. Back behind Park City and around. And so from that area, it's pretty far to drive that whole way back around to Salt Lake City and back. And you either have to keep going or turn around. And we're going to be in the car for a while. And it's fine. I could tell that he wasn't my type pretty fast. But a few minutes into the car, and he goes over and like holds my hand. And I just didn't want it. But I didn't want to be like, no, we're in a car for the next like 2 hours. So I kind of like hold his hand, but I still like get like I don't like this. But I'm trying to be nice. And then after maybe 15 minutes into the car ride, he's, so do you like me? Like, do you feel like this is good? Like, are we connecting? And I was like, dude, we have like an hour and a half car ride. Do you really want to have this conversation right now? I didn't say that, obviously, but.
Were you thinking like he could murder me out here? Like, we're pretty.
I just was not connecting. And it was pretty late, so it was getting dark, and I just knew there was a long road ahead of us. And so I lied because I'm a people pleaser and didn't have the heart to be like, you know what? I'm not feeling it, because that would have been a really long, awkward car ride home. So I was like, yeah, maybe. I mean, it's kind of too early to tell, but maybe. Like, we'll see. You're nice. Something along, those type of lines. And he's, oh, good. I'm feeling the same way. And he pulls over to this lake as a dock. And he's like, let's go to the end of the dock. And I was like, oh, like, I'm kind of tired. Maybe let's just keep going. He's like, no, I'll be really fast. And he tries to kiss me at the end of the dock. And I just was like, oh, like, was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's a little too early for that. It was the longest drive of my whole entire life. And finally I got home, and he's, before I get out of the car, he's like, so you really do like me, right? Like, you like me? And I was just like, oh, like, I don't know yet. We'll see. And he's like, okay, but like, you're not just gonna like ghost me. Like, we're gonna go on another date, right? Like,
desperate much?
I felt bad.
Crazy because hearing these stories back, we were young, but it just goes to show like how much we'll endure as women, that when I wish we would be like, but you're in a dangerous situation potentially, or an awkward one. And so we just kind of like go with the flow, with which now as a grown woman, I'm like, I would,
I know, I'd be sorry, I'm not feeling it. You're great, just not for me. Turn around and take me home, please.
Yeah.
Like, duh.
Damn it, I get a full adult meal, okay? I'm not a child anymore. Yeah. Treat me like one. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I don't know. Just sometimes the things that go through guys' mind, I don't think they just didn't think through their actions.
Yeah. And how it could come across. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I didn't know you had so many bad date stories that I didn't hear about.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a lot. But then I found Dawson, and it's great.
Yeah.
And I met him on Tinder. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I think I was married by the time Tinder came out. So I never had a chance to dabble in that. But maybe that's for good. Maybe that's good.
And I really think dating nowadays and back then are very different.
Yeah.
All I've heard recently is it's impossible, and everyone's expectations are so high, and they're not willing to go down, which is good in some ways. But I also just heard it's really hard to find now.
Yeah. I agree. Totally. Thank goodness we don't have to date anymore.
Amen. Yes. I think it'd be really hard.
I agree.
All right, so I do have another story. This one's not mine. So this girl wrote in and told me that she went on this date with this guy, and he seemed really cute. They talked for a week on the phone and texting and whatnot. And he picks her up, and they stop at Taco Bell. She's like, I'm chill. Taco Bell, great. I could do Taco Bell. Like, maybe they're, going to do something after. He goes back to his apartment with his roommates and plays video games. And he's trying to, like, include her in the video games. But so she's sitting there on the couch with these roommates around him while they're playing video games.
No.
And the roommate, so she's not doing very well because, surprise, video games aren't her thing. And the roommate's like, here, I'll help you. I'll do it. And then takes the controller from her and proceeds to not give it back the whole time.
Oh, yeah. No thanks. I'm good.
So
I think I do a gamer situation.
Yeah. And there are girls that do. There are girls that do. But also, probably not a first date. And you'd have to really, like, I feel like, know them pretty well to be like, hey, let's just have a game night in,
With my buddies. Like, not just me and you. That could be cute. If it's just you two, like, playing Mario Kart or something, that could be fun. But
I could do Mario Kart, yeah. But also not a first date, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. It just didn't seem thoughtful.
No effort. It sounded like he had a guy planned and he wasn't willing to give it up. So he's like, I guess I'll pick up Taco Bell for the guys as an apology and bring this girl with me. Like, no.
Oh, shoot. Tonight's guys' night.
That's okay. Just take her with. She won't care.
She'll have so much fun.